So I was watching this video by Ed Lawrence, aka Film Booth, fantastic channel by the way, when I stumbled across this animation. And I swear I suffer from shiny object syndrome, so say that 5 times fast. I immediately cracked open Fusion to try and remake it. I'm going to show you 2 ways to make this. One's the more complete way with more control, the other's the fast and easy way. So let's go ahead and transition to Resolve and get started. I'm just in a new Fusion comp, my frame rate is 24, but it doesn't really matter because we're not going to keyframe anything. We are, however, going to use expressions, but those are easy to change. To start off, we need a P image emitter, not a P emitter, a P custom, and a P render. To get this started, we're going to need an image, so drop in a background, make it white, add a transform, and a blur. Hook that all up to a P image emitter and display the render in the viewer. First step is to convert the giant plane into a bunch of wavy dots. Go to the P image and change the density to 0.04 and 0.01. and change the particle lifespan to 1000 so they don't disappear. Now go to the Transform tab and change X rotation by -90 degrees. Now that it's sitting flat, go back to the Control tab and change Y density to 0.001. This will reduce it to only 1 line of dots. Now we get to make the wave. Go to your background and change it to Gradient. Move the white marker to the center and add a third. Change it to black. On the Transform, we're going to animate this gradient. Change Edges to Wrap. Right click, add an expression to center. The first 0.5 is the X position, change it to time divided by 30. You can always change it later, this is just a good starting point. Dividing time by a higher number, say 50, will make the wave slower. For the gradient to actually have an effect, we need to go to the P custom and make some changes. Go to the Particle tab, under Position Y, change PY to R, change Position Z to R divided by 2. What we've just done is attach the Y and Z position of the particles to the gradient. R just stands for the red channel, we could have used blue or green, it really wouldn't have made a difference. I divide by 2 because I only want half as much wave going left as right as I do up and down. You can change these later after we have our camera in place. So our wave is still really big and pretty sharp, so let's fix that. Go to the blur and crank up the blur size to 600, and change the clipping mode to domain. It helps smooth out the line at the edges. Vito has a great video on this, I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. Now we have a long smooth wave. If you want more points on your line, you can always go to the P image and increase X density. I'm going to leave it because 0.04 works pretty well. The next step is to replace the dots with text. Now we're getting crazy.
That guy's brain is a bag full of cats. You could smell crazy on him.
Drop in text and choose a font. I'm going to use Open Sans Extra Bold. Size it so it fills up the whole space. This is just going to ensure that we don't have blurry text. So here's the deal. You can go to the P image emitter and under style change point to bitmap and then just plug in your text. It will work, but with one issue. Let me show you. You'll notice that as the text moves, its color and shading changes slightly. I haven't added any lights or anything, so I'm guessing this is a bug. There's a way around it, and that's what we're going to do. If it doesn't bother you, then just go ahead and plug in the text and join us when we add in the 3D camera. So I'm going to change it back to point, and I'm also going to uncheck Always Face Camera. To correct the color issue, we need to stick a plane to the dots and replace the plane with text. Grab a background, make it white if you want, put that into an image plane 3D and a transform 3D. You then needed to attach it all to a replicate 3D. The replicate is just placing the background at each of the points. Change the scale to 0.03. This is how you control the size of the text. Now all our dots are replaced by planes, and we're going to use the Transform 3D to rotate them. Change the Y rotation to -90. Now to get our text in there, we just attach it to a replace material. Now that we have text with no color issue, it's time to add in the camera and the lights. Grab a camera 3D, a spotlight, and a directional light. Combine them into a merge 3D, merge that into another merge, and add a render 3D. Add in a Transform 3D right after the replace material and change the Y rotation to -90. We're going to use the first merge to move our camera and lights into position and then tweak stuff from there. I'll give you my values just to save time and then you can play with them later. For translation, -0.3, 0.5, and -1.1. Change Y rotation to -180. I know we're doing a lot of negative rotations, but the alternative is to just use -R values and negative time, and I just found this a lot easier. On the Camera Transform tab, change translation to 0.11, -1, and 0. Change X rotation to 10 and Y rotation to 15. This just gives a nice perspective on the text instead of looking straight on it. Spotlight transform is 1 in X and 5 in Z. Directional light is 0.7 for X, 15 for X rotation and Y rotation. Let's give the text some colors so we can see it and turn on an outline. Change to black, grab the same color for the lights using the picker. Change the intensity of the spotlight to 0.8 and the intensity of the directional light to 0.1. On the camera merge, make sure you check pass-through lights, and on the render 3D, check lighting and shadows. If you just like the flat look, you can leave these off. If you want this to go backwards, just add a minus before time in the expression. If you want more waves, just lower the size, but you'll need to lower the blur proportionally. I find it easiest to just rename the transform, name it T or something, and add an expression to the blur. So we have T.size times 600. You also might need to adjust the speed on this one. So I like to go in, add a few brackets, do 30 divided by size. That'll adjust your speed when you adjust your size. So quick recap, speed and direction are controlled with the transform along with the number of waves, controlled by the size. The blur controls smoothness and affects the amplitude. The main amplitude and direction of the waves is controlled by the P custom tool. Text size is controlled by the replicate scale and position of the camera. Color is controlled by text and the color of the lights. Alright, so let's try the easy method. You have less control, but it's a lot faster. For this, you'll need to download Reactor. There's a link in the description. Once you download it, drag it into the Fusion page to install it. You may need to restart Davinci afterwards. Once it's installed, go to Workspace, Scripts, Reactor, Open Reactor. The add-on you're looking for is called Echo. Install that, restart Resolve, and start a new Fusion comp. Add a background to size things, turn the alpha all the way down, merge a text on top of that, and add an echo. On the Layout tab, right-click the center and modify with XY path. Keyframe the start at 0.47 and 0.47. Go 10 or so frames in, keyframe the position to 0.53 and 0.53. Go another 10 frames from there and go back to 0.47. Open the spline editor, grab your points, and hit S to smooth. Click this little icon to set loop, so it'll loop continually. On the echo, change frames to 50, change the pivot to 0.506 and 0.495. Decrease the scale to 0.22. To get rid of the missing frames at the beginning, go to the edit page, right click, change it to a compound clip, trim it down so the animation is fully extended. You might need to make a longer Fusion clip for this to work better. If you want to play backwards, right click on it, go to change clip speed, and check reverse speed. Alright, bonus points, if you want to make a background to this, just grab an S-star shape, turn down the points to 5, make the depth 0.8, add in a transform to scale it, duplicate a row, duplicate that down with a little bit of an offset, duplicate that pattern, add another transform to make it rotate over time, and you pretty much got it. Alright, thank you for watching this video, have fun dabbling, and we'll catch you next time. Bye!